This Prime Minister Recep Tayyip
The
Erdogan.
People's Democratic Party has
All
called
progressive
for
countries
Nigerians in
join.
Hello and welcome to News Judgment. I am Frank Omalafe, and it's so good to have you join us again. A lot of stories breaking earlier in the news, flying around. Very interesting story, but of course some other call for concern still. And of course we're going to be analyzing them on the show here, giving you a direction ahead of tomorrow, what to expect in the dailies, exactly what you do on the show here. And of course, my usual co-anchor and appearance on the show, news editor Dan Alo. Thank you for joining us again on the program.
It's a pleasure being here. It's my pleasure.
Well, earlier today, let's quickly look at what news breaking earlier today. Nigerian troops searching for Chibok girls already has taken shape, kick-started already. And Atiku advocates all-party summit on security. That's exactly what the news breaking earlier today. And Tambua orders the Zianis jets probe, and that probe is to resume. And of course, the speaker has given an order for that. And let's quickly take another look or the news breaking here. Reps summon a ganga over EU Nigeria's economic partnership. And of course, another news breaking here is the fact that Delta cancels Democracy Day over state of the nation. Well, of course, the federal government has declared public holiday. Anyway, we'll come to all of that later. Then, of course, the Nigerian Union of Teachers order closure of school nationwide for, the abducted girls as well. Well, in protest, in solidarity again, in support of the abducted girls. The federal government must take a torch step against corruption. That's coming from the U.S., saying that the federal government should be more, vigilant, and of course should be more put its feet down on corruption. That's some of the news breaking earlier. But now let's quickly go earlier this evening. Another news breaking here is the fact that IG has vowed to apprehend perpetrators of just blast. Dan, let's quickly take a look at this.
Yes, for me, this story, I think it should be beyond IG vowing or making statements that we want to see all of these statements translate into action. We want to see the end to terror attacks in our country, because this is giving us a negative image as a people and collectively as a nation. And it is high time we do what is supposed to be done to put an end to it. This blast, if you ask me, is just one too many. And, lives have been lost.
Yeah, because the last one happened in Kano just barely how many days ago, and then we're having a twin bomb blast in just killing over 100.
It's very sad. It's very sad. It's a failure of a state.
Well, because we're worried, but let's look at the direction this might take tomorrow. And this might really call for concerns among the citizens,
it calls for concern. Tomorrow.
Let's look at the position.
It's a very important story. It carries weight, and so it goes to the front page. IG vows to apprehend perpetrators of Joyous blast.
All right, let's move away from that quickly, from that story. Another news breaking earlier in the evening is the fact that PDP accuses APC of celebrating terrorism. Of course, there was a grand rally, APC rally in Ekiti State today, and a lot of the party chieftain and stalwart gathered together, and a whole lot happened. But now the PDP is accusing of...
I feel that this statement came from Secretary to the ruling party, People's Democratic Party, Olisa Metu. I think Olisa Metu should be a little bit cautious and tread softly when it comes to the issue of terrorism in Nigeria. Already,
or maybe the issue of party trading blames.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He has to tread softly. Already, one of the APC stalwarts, El Rufai, has slammed a 1.5 billion suit on him, and then another one, General Buhari, has promised to take him before the court. And this, of course, is a very serious issue. It's not an issue to be treated with tawdry. So we must learn how to remove politics from terrorism and stand as one to fight one common enemy.
Because he's saying that, okay, where we had a bomb blast in Jos, why should APC go ahead
that's what I'm saying.
And celebrate?
That's what I'm saying.
But let's look at the importance of this
Yes,
story.
it's a very important story. It enjoys the front page tomorrow in the dailies.
Away from that now, also in another development, PDP also has come up as well. I mean, APC has come up as well to accuse PDP of being responsible for spate of insecurity. That's what it's coming from.
Yes,
APC.
it's a blame trade game. You know, they are trading blames. Our PDP accusing APC, APC accusing PDP. But I feel that politicians should come to the realization of the fact that this is not a time to play politics. It's a time to stand as a nation. It's a time to stand as one, to face a common enemy, which is terrorism.
Because this
and until we do
game,
that, we will never get out of this
that
quagmire.
we are getting back, like we're going to get back to square one, where we started from, where there was trade blame games and all of that. And it seems that the two party, the ruling party, PDP and APC, sometime at a time, they came together, seems to put their differences behind them. But now it's like we're back to this day. But let's look at the direction from the angle of news judgment.
Yeah. This is a very important story as well. It's a back-to-back follow-up to the PDP accusation. And this is a response to it. And they are saying, well, PDP has been in government in the last 15 years, and they are responsible for the misrule that we have in Nigeria that has culminated into terror acts.
So it's coming on the front page.
Yeah, very strong story. Very strong story as well. Comes to the front page as well.
Let's move away from that quickly. Another story, interesting story is interesting story to say, breaking earlier in the evening, is the fact that you know, the Arewa Consultative Forum on Wednesday condemned the bomb attack in Jos. What does it tell you, Dan?
Arewa Consultative Forum condemning the Jos bomb attack is, to me, very important. And then Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, JNI, is also condemning it. Well, that Islamic organization is led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar. A couple of days back, we had one of the human rights activists in the north saying that this Sultan should lead the search for the girls, you know. So coming to make this statement, it shows that everybody, regardless of religion, regardless of political affiliation or ethnicity, condemns this heinous act of abducting 200 female students into the forest and then bragging and making scornful comments about that act. I mean, it's very painful. Every day that those children are away is a pain, is a day of pain to, you know, to their parents and to us as a nation. I feel that rather than declaring Democracy Day on May 29, we should declare a day of national mourning. We should mourn those who are dead in this country, those whose lives have been wasted, and those who have their children
as a result of the activities of the insurgents.
As a result of failure of government to provide us security. That's the truth.
Oh, okay. Let's quickly look at the provenance of the story. Is it coming at the first page now? Or
yes, this probably is linked to the latest bomb attack in the country, condemnation, and it comes to the front page because of its weight and prominence.
And away from insecurity right now, well, of course, still on the crime issue, really, but the movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, it's saying that they're not responsible for the explosion that rocked the Port Harcourt refinery, Jetu in Okrika local government, where over 50 people were confirmed dead in that explosion.
Well, Nupeng has come out to say, rather than terror attack on the refinery, it is supposed to be what you call a technical fault that resulted into the blast. But of course, you know that what do you call them? Agitators are opportunists, and so they want to use every opportunity to even claim what they didn't do, that they feel will have an impact on the state. I mean, this is cheap popularity, cheap recognition, and the negative aspect. So kudos to NUPENG for coming out to tell us the truth behind the refinery blast, and then for us to know that MEND was not actually responsible, but trying to lay claim to what it didn't do for cheap popularity.
Okay, let's move away quickly from that now to another interesting story. Resident of Kaduna divided over Okada ban. And of course, it's just like, you know, a whole lot of them are saying now this is easier means of easy means of transportation, and then somebody's just like it's been banned in Lagos State. But then maybe when we come back, we'll have to take a look at that in detail. Well, this is News Judgment reaching you live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll take a look at all of these stories as we go ahead in this program. We'll be right back after this time.
I don't think the election was actually... What are the people saying?
5 local governments out of the 30 local government is more than many states in the north.
The economy is booming. Where is the economy booming? Bomb blast in Abuja.
Don't we have security?
Why are we fighting?
Presidency should not just sit in Abuja or in Asokoro or wherever he lives.
The are sponsoring this local haram. They know them.
Men cannot be there and be there at the same time.
The life of the citizens, community need to be protected.
It can't work out.
Bring the message of peace.
Let there be proper devolution of power from the center. The center is too powerful.
The People, only on Core TV News.
If you're just joining us, this is News Judgment, broadcasting live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria, where we've been analyzing headlines, giving you a perception or a direction of the news ahead of the dailies tomorrow. That's exactly what we do here. My co-appearance here has been done a lot. Now let's look at the resident of Kaduna, you know, being divided over the ban of Okada activities in that area, in that state.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is that all over Nigeria, the motorcycle system of transportation has become popular. In the southwest, south here, we call it Okada. Up there in the north, it's called Achaba. And then a lot of people make use of this. And then in Kaduna, it has been banned because of the criminal activities they've been involved in. Do not forget that most states are now banning the use of motorcycle in transportation. Aside from the fact that the risk is so high, you know, the accident rate is high, deaths by Okada is high.
Because some of them went on street also protesting and saying no, it is
as a means for criminal activities. So, well, for me, I feel that the controversy should be resolved quickly, and then people should manage for now because of the security situation in the north. Without
maybe they should be able to solve the problem by, you know,
there are alternatives.
Them,
there are alternatives.
You know, tricycle.
Yes, the Keke Napep thing has come into operations, and I think
because we're also talking about providing jobs for these people.
What the government needs to do in cushioning the effect of the ban is to provide more jobs and then more tricycles into operation within the Kaduna metropolis.
Let's look at where it is going on the in the dailies tomorrow.
It comes to the metro page and takes a lead on the metro page.
All right, it takes a lead on the metro page. Well, let's move away from that now. Bayelsa forgoes Alamia's loot to EFCC. You know, they virtually forgo that suit now. Earlier fight by the state government.
When I looked at this, it shows us how we have gone morally low in Nigeria. This governor was accused of embezzling funds of the state, was taken to court and jailed. Do you understand? He was given a state pardon by the President Jonathan administration. Do not forget that he brought President Jonathan to politics.
All right.
President Jonathan was his deputy governor. And President Jonathan has never hidden his love for his godfather, who is Alamesia. And today, the Attorney General of Bayelsa State went to court to withdraw a case against the FCC to return the stolen money which Alamesia stole back to them without a recourse to the lawyer that was appointed by the state to pursue the case in court and the consultant.
This is
to
a very
recover this
interesting
fund.
story.
Now, what this is telling us is that the state of Bayelsa and the government of Bayelsa approves of its plundering, the plundering of its wealth, the plundering of the commonwealth of these people. And then it shows us that the government of Nigeria is not showing any commitment to fighting graft at all. And that is just the position presented by this case. This is a very, very important story. I'll give it a strip on the front page and promo it inside. In fact, the story will be elaborately treated because the money we're talking about is about
exactly
1.4 billion naira,
yes,
and then another 1.3 million dollars.
$1.3 million.
I mean,
that's a huge amount of money that
and
shouldn't be let go.
You know the disgrace that this has brought to us as a nation. We go out there to say, oh, we are committed to fighting corruption. And they see us do all these kind of things. And this man, do not forget, escaped from the United Kingdom, you know, standing trial for money laundering. And look at what we are doing. Look at what we are doing. This shows us that as a people, we've lost all moral values. We do not have any moral values at all.
I mean, I think there are a whole lot of issues that could be raised from this, and because this can give rise to impunity to others to
That's
begin
what
to
we're saying.
Do all of this.
That's what we're saying.
Now, okay, let's move away from that now because of our time. Well, on 29 May, report says federal government declares May 29 a public holiday.
I have said in my earlier statement, it is very simple. The government, as we stand today, I don't think should have declared any democracy day. What we should have declared is a national mourning day. Do you know how many lives have been lost in just a space of hours today, yesterday, and you know, do you know how many lives will still be lost day after today and tomorrow? So, it's a very serious issue in Nigeria. We should begin to mourn our children who are back there, who are still out there in the forest. And until we bring those children back, reunite them with their parents, until we put an end, a permanent end, to wanton shedding of blood in the country, we don't have any reason to celebrate.
We might have reactions or probably support of this story tomorrow. Let's
well,
look at the pages going.
One of the states in Nigeria have cancelled their own. Delta says they are not celebrating anything. So they've cancelled it. And then there are several other reactions as we go on in the program. We'll see from some of the news breaking, the reaction of some unions to this celebration of Democracy Day on May 29th.
Now, away from that now, quickly, because of our time, let's look at Ekiti. This one says Ekiti indigenes living in Europe will converge on German financial city of Frankfurt on May 24 to deliberate and decide on
who to lead them.
Who to lead them in the June 21 governorship election.
The truth of the matter is that, you see, Ekiti people are politically inclined. And that's why it is very hot. It's a hot contest to contest for governorship in Ekiti.
All right.
Most of them are well-read, informed, and then they are into politics. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ekiti in diaspora are even interested in what goes on at home. And they are calling a national meeting of European-based Ekiti indigenes, Ekiti extract, you know, for them to meet and decide on who to support for the governorship. Okay. It will be a very interesting meeting.
Okay,
and
before
I hope,
we
the candidates do well. in the elections.
Okay, well, that's for Ekiti people to decide their fate on June 21 governorship election. Now, let's move away from that now. Let me make mention of these, and then we can take a look at the other two stories. Very similar story. It's a fraud story. This one says Ekiti PDP, APC disagree over Jonathan's aborted visit. That's just, by the way, a news mentioned there. Check out, of course, look for a duration in that in the dailies tomorrow. But very importantly, before we go down, 5 billion property theft as Chevron accountants get 5 million naira bail. And well, this was a similar story. Just hold on a moment. Just hold on a moment. And of course, a court orders arrest of ex-accountant in the Federal Service Civil Service Unit, Babatunde Abishuga. Now, let's look at this story. Very similar story.
Two stories. One, that Chevron ex-accountant went and, forged documents to own Chevron's land belonging to that organization, and then he converted it to his own personal use and even built factories there. The truth of the matter is, how do we see ourselves when we're in the position of authority as Nigerians? Do we act honestly? Are we a people with value of truth and loyalty?
Now, that's a similar story with this ex-accountant.
Yes.
Also with 109 million pension.
That pension fraud, I don't know what to say about it. But the truth of the matter is, posterity will never forgive those of them who have decided to be dipping their hands into the sweat of others. People will use their valuable time, their precious life to serve this country, and when they are retired, they get nothing because fellow countrymen have dipped their hands into the pension purse and take what belongs to millions of Nigerians.
Let's look at where it's going tomorrow. On the
very
second page,
very important
the first
story.
Page.
This ex-accountant pension fraud will take the front page, and that Chevron's own will be tucked inside because it's an organization.
All right.
But, of course, this one has to do with the life of the Nigerian people. Life after work, after active service.
Thank you very much, Dan, for coming on the show once again. Well, that's much you can take on the show tonight. Well, Dan has been a co-appearance on this particular show, News Judgment, exactly what to do, analyzing headline and providing a direction for you in the dailies ahead of tomorrow. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. Have a good night rest.
The top story. People's Democratic Party from the head of the state in This Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
Democratic Party
Of the President